Good morning, everyone. Bonjour tout le monde. My name is Peter Tabbins. I'm the MPP for Toronto Danforth, and it's my pleasure this morning to introduce Toronto East residents for renewable energy. And the lead speaker will be Ashley McCall. Ashley?
Thank you, Peter. My name is Ashley McCall, as Peter noted, and I'm here representing Toronto East residents for renewable energy. And I'm going to introduce our other speakers today. This is Dave Smith, also from TERRE, and Jack Gibbons from Ontario Coalition for Clean Air. And Dave is going to lead us off. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. So I'm here to talk about the Portland's Energy Centre upgrade project and our request to Minister Khanjin to elevate the environmental assessment from a screening to an environmental review. So for some background, PEC is located just east of the Don Valley Parkway and down by the lakeshore. It has a very complicated history. It started working in 2009 as a peaker plant, which means that it was supposed to operate for a few hours every day. At that time, it was labeled as the mistake by the lake. It is now operating approximately 14 hours a day. And during the summertime last year, it was up to 21 hours a day. It is Toronto's biggest source of air pollution for CO2 and nitrous oxides. So TERRE Energy conducted a self-assessed environmental assessment. Here are three of the areas that TERRE found deficient. The first was that it fails to respond to concerns by local residents during the screening process. TERRE says the project will not cause public concerns related to health and safety. And that is strange because they received almost 500 public comments expressing concern on health and climate change. TERRE also concludes that there is no potential for any negative environmental effects. Yet we were able to, within 30 minutes, find half a dozen studies which indicate that long-term exposure to pollutants from fossil plants does impact health. The second area that we want to comment on was it does not meet a number of provincial requirements, and I just have two examples here. There are many more. They were asked to provide a qualitative air quality assessment, but they did not. They were asked under the Ministry of the Environment, Conservation and Parks areas of interest to provide a discrete section in the report dealing with how climate change was being considered. And I have to say that it was so discrete, it was not in the report. The third area that we want to comment on was it fails to describe the process used and identifies no socioeconomic impacts. Pardon me. TERRE says that PEC will not cause public concerns related to public health, and they have refused to divulge how they came to that conclusion, in spite of a huge number of comments from the public. TERRE says that PEC will not have negative effects on local institutions, but by ignoring two City of Toronto motions against the expansion, they do undermine the authority of the city. Now, the City of Toronto has also asked for a comprehensive environmental assessment for the PEC expansion. So those three areas, for example, that we mentioned, it fails to respond to concerns by local residents, it does not meet a number of provincial requirements, and it fails to describe the process used and identifies no socioeconomic impacts, are the basis of our elevation request. For these reasons and others, we have requested Minister Khanjin to elevate the environmental assessment to an environmental review. In 2009, it was mistake by the lake, and I'm going to upgrade that to mistake by the lake. How much more can we take? I'd like to introduce now Jack Gibbons from the Ontario Clean Air Alliance. Jack?
Thank you, Dave. Good morning. I'm Jack Gibbons from the Ontario Clean Air Alliance, and I'm pleased to be here today to support TERRE's request for an environmental assessment of OPG's proposal to increase gas burning on Toronto's waterfront. OPG's and Doug Ford's plan to ramp up gas power does not make sense when the world is on fire and when we have cleaner and lower cost options to keep our lights on. Nevertheless, Doug Ford is planning to ramp up the output and pollution of our gas plants by more than 500% by 2030. As a result, in 2030, one quarter of our electricity will be produced by burning gas, up from a mere 4% in 2017. We are going in the wrong direction. My friends, we need strong political leadership to move Ontario back on the right track. And so I'm here today because I hope that Marit Stiles and Bonnie Crombie will join with TERRE and Mayor Olivia Chow and call for an environmental assessment of OPG's plans to increase gas burning on the Toronto waterfront. And I also hope that Marit Stiles and Bonnie Crombie will call for a province-wide phase-out of gas power by 2035. Now, the good news is that we can phase out gas power and lower our electricity bills by tripling our wind and solar power and by investing in all of our cost-effective energy efficiency opportunities. Thank you.
Are there any questions? Well, thank you very much. We're going to wrap up.